come from.
Yourself with Steve.
Which is a wonderful name for a horse. It's trained by Libby Maxwell there at Braidwood at 280. 280 Ducks on the Pond. Capital Call 720. 270 General Jackson. Jeb is 13. Larchwood is 590. And Prince Taita is $20. General Jackson is Tony Campbell's tip there from Ducks on the Pond and Capital Call 5, 1 and 3. 5, 1 and 3. In race 2, Lusty, Resistible and Fiery Angel, race 2. That's 1, 2 and 5. Tony likes in race 3, Regal Distinction from Gonshi Fachi. I've got to be Chinese to do this show. Jazz Win in the third spot there, 1, 8 and 6. Race 4, So Sweet from Shiraz and Dentley, 1, 4 and 5. Race 6, Tony likes Pneumatilla. That's a Ken Callaghan trained horse by Umatilla having, I think, its first start. Find out in a minute. Brother Mick from Dahala, 3, 9 and 1. 3, 9 and 1. No, it's had one start, Umatilla. Race 6, Tony likes Alpine Song from Go Radar and Old Time Waltzer, 2, 5 and 4. Horse was very playful there at Goulburn in, I would think, in the cold down there this morning or this afternoon, early this afternoon, feeling the nippiness. Race 7, he likes The Prune from Air Force and Caprizo, 4, 2 and 5. And the last race, Tony likes Handy Lass, Clavelli Star and Colossal, 9, 7, 3. Let's have a look at the market there. We've seen Tony's tips for the day. Let's have a look at the market on this first 1,600 metre race. Ducks on the pond is 240. Capital Call 610. 340 General Jackson. So there's two really in the betting there, with Larchwood also a little bit favoured at 550. So the one from 5 and 8 in the market. Okay, well, for the first time this afternoon, we go down to Goulburn, and my old mate Tony Campbell is waiting there, and I've asked Kim Stewart what it was like up north. What's it like down south for Tony Campbell?
Well, listen, Richard, you know as well as I do what a beautiful day it is here at Goulburn. It's always fine and good at Goulburn, regardless
always fine
of the weather.
And good, mate. Good racing, not always
certainly.
Fine weather.
Well, compared to Grafton, as you know, I was up at Grafton for 2 days. It was about 25, 26 degrees, and we're down to around about 1 or 2 here at the moment.
1 or 2 only?
Yep.
Oh, well.
Moving in.
Keep warm.
I certainly will. Larchwood goes up. Prince Tater's in line. General Jackson about to move along. Jeb is out. Ducks on the Pond. And Capital Call. About 4 to move in. 260, good support, Ducks on the Pond. 610, Capital Call. 280, General Jackson. Good tussle between Ducks on the Pond and General Jackson as far as the favourite's concerned. 16 for Jeb, $6.70 Larchwood and 15s for Prince Tater. Line taking good shape now. Waiting on Ducks on the Pond. Okay, Ducks on the Pond about to move along to complete the line in the opening race of the day over there at the 1600. Prince Tater stands up. Capital Call's in line. Now here's Ducks on the Pond. It's the favourite on the NSW tote at 260, just ahead of General Jackson at $2.90. This is the first at Goulburn this afternoon. Now the starter goes up to release the field. They're set. Racing, and that was a perfect start, and Prince Tater down towards the inside jumped nicely. Going up 3 and 4 wide, looking for the lead was Ducks on the Pond, followed by Capital Call settling down on the outside of Larchwood, then Jeb and General Jackson. Down on the inside is last of all. As they race towards the back, they've got about 1,300 to go. Race 1 at Goulburn, and doing it well, Ducks on the Pond under a good rein, about 1.25 lengths in front of Capital Call out wide. Down towards the inside with a smugly race there was Prince Tater, getting good cover, Prince Tater. Further back behind those in the field, Larchwood, who's racing on the outside of General Jackson, and about 2 then Jeb at the tail of the field. In the back straight as they race down in the direction of the 1,000 metre mark. Little change in the order, and Ducks on the Pond allowed its own weight in front, although Capital Call is applying pressure now, and a Capital Call goes to the lead. It must be too cold. The rider says let's go, and Capital Call raced away about 1 length in front of Ducks on the Pond, who's getting another go on the outside. In behind those, General Jackson getting a nice run on the inside of Prince Tater. A break of about 2 behind those, Larchwood, and 1.25 lengths then Jebba's last of all as they race down the side with about 600 metres to go. Capital Call on the inside, again joined by Ducks on the Pond on the outside. About two behind those, running on well now, General Jackson. A further break behind those, Prince Tater under pressure. The next one was Larchwood, and Jebba's down towards the inside, but they swing around the straight in race one at Goulburn. They've got about 400 metres to go. Ducks on the Pond on the outside has reached the lead. General Jackson is trying hard, followed then by Capital Call. Capital Call's had enough further back behind those Larchwood, but as they race down towards the 200, here comes General Jackson now. General Jackson raced up quickly, put the head in front of Ducks on the Pond. This pair are well clear. General Jackson just in front near the line. Ducks on the Pond is kicking back, but General Jackson a half head over Ducks on the Pond. A long break behind those, third Capital Call, followed by Larchwood. A long break then, Prince Tater, and Jeb was last.
5, 1, 3, 8.
General Jackson getting there, although Ducks on the Pond fought back very, very strongly. General Jackson 251.70 in New South Wales. Ducks on the Pond $1.80. No dividend for Capital Call. General Jackson, the winner, trained by Bob Hare at Canberra. Ridden by John Scores, trained by Bob Hare, ridden by John Scores. The owners W.J. Hare, G.E. Bostock, G.C. Barrow and T.W. Reichel. A 4-year-old chestnut gelding by Jackson Square out of Mississippi, and just got there on the line to beat Ducks on the Pond, trained by Libby Maxwell at Braidwood. It'll be nice and cool at Braidwood today. Kevin Sweeney, the rider. And Ducks on the Pond by Orajoya out of Brigine. And Capital Call, no dividend, third, is trained at Queanbeyan by Terry Gibson. A 5-year-old chestnut gelding by Nordic Prince out of Valley of Jewels. 5, 1, 3, the first at Goulburn. We'll come back with more in just a moment.
And what a great battle that was, as we can see on screen. General Jackson just getting there. Ducks on the Pond, Kevin Sweeney had to use him up a bit early to get across there in front, and probably that may have cost him the race at the end. But General Jackson just a bit good, paying $251.70, trained on the track there by Bob Hare at Goulburn. Ducks on the Pond, Libby Maxwell, as we said, trained at Braidwood, 180, and Capital Call, no third dividend because insufficient runners. 1 and 3. The numbers at Goulburn, the first favourite, just going down. There's Johnny Scores coming back with General Jackson. Okay, let's look at
Now, Geopika missed it by about a length or so, and Lusty got away well, taken on quickly now by Resistible. It goes to the lead, and Bundu Boy moves into second on the outside. Lusty eases back to third, followed further back then Sienna Storm, followed by Fiery Angel racing on the outside of Convict Lass, and about 4 then Geopika having trouble keeping up with the field. As they race up towards the turn, they've got about 500 to go, and the leader was Resistible. Off the rails, running on well was Lusty. In behind those, then running on fairly well, Sienna Storm, followed further back then in the all red was Convict Lass, followed by Bundu Boy, Geopika and Fiery Angel. Well on the straight as they race down towards the 200, and Resistible taken on now by Lusty, putting in a run. Sienna Storm's coming down the centre. Here's a great finish coming up. It's Resistible on the inside, Lusty in the centre, and out wide on the track then Sienna Storm, but Resistible pulls out plenty near the line, and Resistible leads most of the way. Resistible first, Lusty second, every chance, followed then by Convict Lass. Out on the outside of those then Bundu was Sienna Storm, followed then by Fiery Angel, Bundu Boy, and Geopika was last. Oh, Resistible too good. Pulled out plenty in the straight. Lusty looked a bit of a chance halfway down the straight, but the rider of Resistible, Mark Newnham, had a bit up his sleeve, and Resistible drew clear near the line. And Mark Newnham, a good ride on the winner, Resistible, trained by Keith Watt at Nara. The numbers will read 2, 1 and 7. Resistible raced by A.S. Wilton and Mrs. E.M. Watt. A 3-year-old brown filly by River Rough out of Ladappa, trained by Keith Watt at Nara. Mark Newnham, the rider. Now Lusty second, trained by Gary Kirkup at Canberra, ridden by Gary Buchanan. A 3-year-old brown gelding, Cannon Eyes out of Chicholina, and it looks as though the one in the all red, Convict Lass, will get third, just ahead of Sienna Storm. Convict Lass, trained by Gail Lodge. There's a 3-year-old brown filly by High Reserve out of Banish. 3.30, 180 for the winner, Resistible. $1.30 for Lusty. No dividend for Convict Lass. Number 8 was fourth in the race. Number 8 fourth, Sienna Storm. A bit of a chance halfway down the straight. And 5, Fiery Angel, finished fifth. 2-1-7-8-5. The winner drew clear again on the line to score by 2 lengths. A half length second and third. 54.16 the time. 2 by a half, 54.16. The numbers are official. 2:17. Yes, Resistible led clearly for a stride or two on the straight when Gary Buchanan got to work on Lusty. Lusty looked as though he could have gone on with the job, and Sienna Storm out 3 wide in the blinkers put in a bit of a run, but Sienna Storm's run ended close to the line, and Mark Newnham, riding in great style, got Resistible home by 2 lengths at the finish. 2:17.85, and we'll have more in just a moment.
Yes, plenty still coming from Goulburn there. Numbers that you've seen. 2, 1 and 7, of course. 2, 1 and 7 coming back to them as they come in. Resistible comes in, just beating the favourite Lusty at the last bit. Just a bit strong for him. And Gary Buchanan just couldn't get the Greg Kirkup trained Lusty home over the Keith Watt trained from now at Resistible. Updating Murtoa, race 3.
Jazz Win settles down. Starter goes up. Away they go now. Bacchanalia was last out of the gates. Duke of Roseville didn't jump all that well. Regal Distinction and Jaswin got away well, and Gong Sifachi prominent. And Good to Me is not too far away, followed by Soaring Heights getting back centre field. There was Cocky Raider, followed then by Duke of Roseville down towards the inside. And well back behind those as they raced down the side of the track there was Spanish Verse. As they raced down with 600 metres to go, the favourite Regal Distinction leads. A half a length Jaswin going up 3 wide. Good to Me, followed by Gong Sifachi, who's going up wide on the track, followed by Soaring Heights and Cocky Raider. Duke of Roseville well back in the field as they swing for home, followed by Bacchanalia, and Spanish First is last of all, but around the turn and the leader was Regal Distinction. Trying hard was Jaswin, followed further back to Good to Me, and out very wide Gong Sifachi putting in a big run. Here's a great go at the 200, out very wide. Gong Sifachi drew to the lead. Cocky Raiders battling on, followed then by Good to Me, and the next one was Jaswin. It's Gong Sifachi getting tired. Cocky Raider down on the inside, but Gong Sifachi has just beaten Cocky Raider. Jaswin is third, followed by Good to Me. In behind those Soaring Heights, followed by Duke of Roseville. Regal Distinction gave up very, very quickly, and the last pair across the line were Bacchanalia in company there with Spanish Verse. And with a name like that, it just had to win a race. Gong Sifachi, 440 for the win, $1.60 for the place, 8.11.6. Gong Sifachi, 441.60. Cocky Raider, $3.90. And Jaswin will return on the New South Wales TAB, $1.60. Now let's have a look at this. Gong Sifachi, a 2-year-old bay colt by Argencourt out of Kathy Lou, trained by Ken Callaghan here on the brand new track at Goulburn, raced by Miss V.E. Tolonia and AJ Lim. And Gong Sifachi was having his third start today. Cocky Raider looked a bit of a threat, but Gong Sifachi held on very well. Cocky Raider trained at Queanbeyan by Norm Gardner, ridden by Rolly Saxton, by Rise and Shine out of Rosaday, and third Jaswin. It's trained by Richard Hayward Keane at Hawkesbury, ridden by Grant Buckley, by Windsor's Pal out of Jasnagora. Yes, a good run there. Gong Sifachi was wide most of the way, but Ken Callaghan is an expert at getting horses first up wins. And here's just another example this afternoon. So the winner, 8.11.6 official. Number 5, Good to Me, was fourth, and 9, Soaring Heights, fifth. The margins are half a length both ways. A half by a half. 102.16 for the 1,000. A good run on this track. 102.16. So as the runners return with a win to number 8, Gong Sifachi, we'll take you back to all studios.
Thanks, Tony. Gong Sifachi, you say it so well it rolls off your tongue. 441.60 by Argencourt, by the way. Argencourt having a pretty lean time of it, but nice to see one breaking through for Kenny Callaghan.
Sun shining brightly here now at Goulburn Gardens. As the starter moves around to release the field, So Sweet is the favourite. So Sweet the favourite. Good support late select edition. Brad Pengelly's mount. They're set. Under starter's orders now. Or select edition getting a bit toey towards the inside. Keen to get on with the job. And now there's another one. So Sweet. The rider looks as though he's climbed onto the uprights. Yeah, the gate has opened. One of the attendants going around front to close the gate of So Sweet. Now here's the rider dismounting. Looks as though it could be taken out of the stalls to go through the vets. Hello. Got down in the stalls. Okay, thank you. Yes, So Sweet got down in the stalls, and this filly by Bite the Bullet will be taken out and will undergo a vet's exam. Oh yes, she's squatting down in the stalls. Sitting down, So Sweet, and the rider Gary Seville is dismounted. We'll have a slight delay here, studio, so you can take it back for around about, what, 60 seconds or so?
Is she the favourite, So Sweet?
$3.50, $1.60, So Sweet. Ahead of Shiraz at $4.10, Dentley $4.80, and $5.10 Select Edition. It's a fairly open race, but So Sweet is the current favourite on the NSWTAB. Now, So Sweet. Now, here's another one. Number 4's out of the stalls as well, Shiraz. Shiraz has been taken out of the stalls, and Queen of Sorcery is out. So we've got a bit of a problem here at the moment. Looks as though, stand by, we'll get the message from the steward. Hello. Oh, I see, okay. Yeah, those runners have been backed out, so that it makes it a bit easier for So Sweet to be backed out of the stalls. She's obviously jammed. So let's go back to all studios. We'll take a break.
Ooh, she's right, I think. Yes, she's right now, but she looks very proppy on the legs. Horse lovers like me shouldn't be doing these things sometimes. It's pretty upsetting, but she looks all right there now. But she was trapped very awkwardly, So Sweet, and she's going around for a vet examination now. Let's take a short break on Sky Race Day. Well, the favourite's out. So Sweet is out of race 4. As we saw, she got down very awkwardly and got up. And here's Tony for the start.
Shiraz missed it by about a length and a half, and Select Edition down towards the inside got away well from Gabaltriona, Fledermaus prominent, and getting a run between those. Jovial Gal is running on, back behind those Dentley. Further back in the field down towards the inside was Wujai, followed by Mary's Hope, Baroness Saxby, and Shiraz's last of all. There's a fair turn of speed on as they leave the back and race down the side. Jovial Gal is the leader. Jovial Gal leads about a length and a half in front of Select Edition, doing it well down towards the inside. Now there's a one up on the outside of those, Queen of Sorcery, Gabaltriona between runners, and further back behind those Baroness Saxby, followed further back Shiraz. Wujai's down towards the inside, followed further back in the field. Around the turn, they've got about 400 metres to go, and Select Edition down towards the inside is the leader. Jovial Gal in the centre's battling on well, and getting another go on. Jovial Gal has reached the lead. Shiraz followed by Baroness Saxby, and further back behind those, Queen of Sorcery inside the 200, and Jovial Gal is the leader, getting into the clear now. Shiraz is coming quickly. It's Jovial Gal and Shiraz. Shiraz on the outside, doing best, and Shiraz, after missing the jump, Shiraz put up a good effort. Shiraz first, Jovial Gal second, Wujai third, followed then by Select Edition, then Dentley back behind those Baroness Saxby. Further back in the field, Queen of Sorcery, Gabaltriona, Fledermaus, Mary's Hope, and repeating the late scratching at the barrier, number 1, So Sweet.
Well, the Kembla Grange trained Shiraz just a bit strong there at the finish. Going to the line, hands and heels there from Jovial Gal and Wujai. They paid $5.50, 4, 8 and 12 in a race robbed of the favourite just before the jump. So Sweet. Okay, Murtoa, race 5. Let's have a look there. 4.20 there, Regal Ricochet, unfettered as $2.90. 6.50 Kingston Way. Danceland is favourite at is the toppy there at $6. The favourite is unfettered the favourite in race 5 at Murtoa. Over the page there, 42 Larwood and Beaubrigand is 120. Okay, let's now go to Adam for the K&J Baker Cartage Murtoa Cup over 2,000 metres. This is the big one of the afternoon. Let's have the call from Adam Crittenden.
Walk in. Unfitted to join the line, and they'll be ready to go. Race 5, Murtoa Cup. Unfitted goes in. Field is set. 5th of the day, the Murtoa Cup. Starter has the field. They're ready. They stand quite well. Racing. Bounced away in a good line, unfettered, one of the first away out deep, and he's going forward here. Neville Wilson in search of the front. Bricklands, Tolly, True Blue, Healing Force are all coming across with Kingston Way. Then Beau Brigand, Mr. Performer out deep. Regal Ricochet back on the inside. Danceland back to third last from Larwood, and last is Mr. Thatcher at the judge. Unfettered in front, unfettered about 3/4 clear. Now wanting to pull up on the outside, second is Kingston Way. Third, the inside is True Blue. Healing Force lands in the box seat. Fourth outside, Regal Ricochet. Then Mr. Performer out deep around Bricklands, Tolly, Larwood on the fence from Danceland, Beau Brigand, and a length away last of all is Mr. Thatcher. Unfettered the favourite in front, 1300 to go. Unfettered by just on a length to Kingston Way. Third, the rail is True Blue. A length to Regal Ricochet inside of Healing Force. One further back to Mr. Performer, who's outside of Larwood. Next is Bricklands, Tolly, Danceland, the rail. Second last is Beau Brigand, and a length away last of all is Mr. Thatcher. Wilson slows the speed here on the favourite. Inside the 1,000 metre point now, and it's unfettered, leading by 3/4 to True Blue, who goes up outside Kingston Way. They start to bunch up. Mr. Performer sliding up out 3 and 4 deep. Regal Ricochet just behind them with Healing Force, Bricklands, Tolly. Next on the inside is Larwood from Danceland, Beau Brigand, and last of all is Mr. Thatcher. 750 out. Mr. Performer's taking on unfettered now. Mr. Performer drew about a half length in front of unfettered the inside. True Blue third out deep. Healing Force commencing a run. Then Kingston Way hard ridden at the moment. Bricklands, Tolly next with Danceland the middle. 2 lengths to Regal Ricochet, Beau Brigand, Mr. Thatcher, and last is Larwood. Mr. Performer hit the front though up to the turn. Unfettered struggling for the moment. Mr. Performer a length in front. Healing Force gets to second. Unfettered having everything thrown at him. And then Regal Ricochet, Danceland winding up from Bricklands, Tolly in the straight. Mr. Performer a length in front. Danceland is sweeping home down the centre. Regal Ricochet, Healing Force are next. Danceland took the front. Regal Ricochet out after him. Danceland 3/4 clear. Regal Ricochet closing. He's finishing the better Regal Ricochet. Regal Ricochet got up right on the line. Regal Ricochet ahead to Danceland. Third's a photo. Mr. Performer or Healing Force close up unfettered the inside. Then Kingston Way followed in by Bricklands, Tolly with Larwood, True Blue, Beau Brigand, and last in Mr. Thatcher. Regal Ricochet I think's got there right on the post in the last 2 hops to get up and win. 3 Regal Ricochet I think has nailed Danceland right on the line to win here. 3 just in front of 1 I'd say, and third is pretty close Mr. Performer, and the other one there is Healing Force up on the outside. Danceland swept to the front at the 200 metre point. Regal Ricochet was under the whip at that stage, about a length and a half further back, but he's really knuckled down in the last 100 metres of the race, and he'll get up and win here, Regal Ricochet I'd say. Not much of a margin, I'd say only ahead will be the biggest margin. 3's the winner. 3's won at Regal Ricochet, ridden by Stephen Vella. 1 Danceland, Joe Bowditch is second. Third's gone to 8. Mr. Performer, ridden by Kathy Payne. So the placings are 3-1-8. 3-1-8 after the Murtoa Cup in a time of 2:5.9. They did slow the speed there, especially mid-race. They finished nearly 5 seconds outside of the course record, which is not really surprising with the pace that they were going, especially between the 1400 and the 800 metre mark. 3-1-8. 3-1-8. Regal Ricochet settled about 5th over on the inside, just better than midfield. He seemed to be just struggling for the moment up before the home turn, and Danceland swept straight around him and got about 2 lengths on Regal Ricochet at the top of the straight when Danceland hit the front, but Regal Ricochet's been able to wear down Danceland and get there in the shadows of the post with a good break to Mr. Performer, who's just lasted for third in front of Healing Force and unfettered back on the inside. 3-1-8. Tote dividends, 3 Regal Ricochet, 430 the win, 170 the place. Second goes to number 1 Danceland, returning $1.90, and 470 for third for number 8, which is Mr. Performer. 430, 170 for the winner, 190 second, 470 for third. Quinella 1390. The exacta returns 3440, 3440 the exacta. Trifecta 309.40, 309.40 for the trifecta. And the race to race double returning 9 and 3, 1670, 1670 for the race to race double. That's for the stable pair of Zach the Beaut into Regal Ricochet. It's a short head, the winning margin. A short head by 2 3/4, time of 2:05.9. The winner returning, Regal Ricochet's a grey gelding, a 6-year-old by Veet Chevelle. Out of Roan Ricochet is raced by D.A. Shorts, R.J. Davies, G.J. Shorts, C.A. House, C.A. Conran and D.G. Shorts, trained by Craig Conran at Flemington, gives the stable a winning double, having won the previous on Zach the Beaut, and also a double for jockey Stephen Vella. One Dance Lands, a brown or black gelding 7 by Go Dancer out of the Bellland, Stuart Padman and Joe Bowditch, and third 8 Mr. Performer, a bay gelding 6 by Benefit Performer out of Trim View Wine, Chris Ryan and Kathy Payne.
Well, Craig Conran, they're getting a double at the right time of the day too, with Zach the Beaut and Regal Ricochet there, the grey. And also that was late mail tip from Rod Galagas, and it was a tip for our friends who are watching in America through New York and of course through LA, right across the states. So they should be happy at 4.30, paying 4.30. A nice bet if you can get it. There's Regal Ricochet's head just disappearing before Tamworth dividends come up. Oronte's dividend.
New Matilda from the Ken Callaghan stable is the favourite. Gates open. A fairly good level start. Japami got out well, and Amadou Raja half in charge and driving up Brother Mick on the inside, not too far away to Guri. Followed then getting up along the inside by New Matilda, a long break by our Braveheart. Followed further back in the field, Dahala and Mine Eyes back towards the tail. As they settle down and race down the back, and the leader was Japami, running second on the inside, Brother Mick. A close third, Amadou Raja, going up 3 wide. Making ground was Tagori, followed by New Matilda on the inside of half in charge. A length and a half behind those as they race down the side. Mine Eyes, followed by our Braveheart, and about a length and 3/4 Dahala last of all. Racing down towards the 600. Little change in the order. Japami leads. Wide on the track now. Tagori moves to second. Our Brother Mick with a cosy run on the rails. In between runners, Amadou Raja, a further break, ridden along a bit now, was New Matilda further back in the field. Then came half in charge, followed by Mine Eyes well back on the turn. Into the straight with about 350 metres to go. And Japami down towards the inside is still the leader. Getting up along the inside, Brother Mick is running on. And down the centre, Mine Eyes putting it around and out very wide, our Braveheart. Here's a great go at the 200. Brother Mick on the inside. Race through to join Japami. Japami still in front. Brother Mick hands and heels, tries hard. It's Brother Mick doing a shade the better near the line. Brother Mick has beaten Japami. A break behind those, Mine Eyes third, followed by Tagori, who couldn't run on. Then Dahala. New Matilda was under pressure at the turn. A break behind those, Amadou Raja, followed by our Braveheart, and half in charge was last. Brother Mick right along the inside. A good ride by Grant Buckley. In the club's colours, green with the black cap. Brother Mick, 2:51.30. Japami, 2:30. Mine Eyes, 2:30. The numbers will read 9, 5 and 12 after race 5 at Goulburn. The winner, Brother Mick. Trained at Rose Hill by Neville Cox. Grant Buckley, the winning rider. And it's raced by the Starvamp Syndicate, the manager R.A. Bennett, in partnership with M.O. Burns, L. Foran, T.A. Glue, B.H. Ladd and M.G. Matheson. A 5-year-old chestnut gelding by our Paddy Boy out of Repan, trained by Neville Cox. Number 5, second, Japami, trained by Libby Maxwell. Kevin Sweeney, a 3-year-old bay filly. Bureaucracy out of Volumes. And Mine Eyes third, number 12, trained by Deborah Walters at Kembla Grange. Gary Matthews, a 4-year-old chestnut mare, Pelican Hill out of Bundina Lass. 9, 5, 12, 2:51.30 for Brother Mick, the good brother, 2:30 for Japami, 2:30 for Mine Eyes. Now the winner scored by a half length, a half by 3.5, 1:14.80 the time.